next up, I have the team from Vivial coming on with me. I have lpatel and KNESE, and we are going to present to you how to maximize your marketing efforts in 2022. Hi, ladies. Good morning. It's so awesome to have you back again.
Yeah, good to see you, Jessica.
Likewise. Good morning. We had a great session a couple months ago now, I would say, so I'm ready for this continuation. I'm going to remove myself and let you guys kick this off, and as the audience has questions for you, or if I do, I'll pop back on and ask them to you.
Perfect. Thanks you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get started. So we're going to cover today how to really max our marketing efforts for 2022. Myself and Lauren will be walking you through some tactics and strategies that you guys should be taking a look at for this next year, really throughout the end of this year. Quick background on Vivial. So digital marketing, of course, hasn't been, right? But we have all of making sure that local business with their consumers. So we want to make sure that you guys are equipped to know how to do that best. The digital marketing world is ever changing, which makes it fun, but also can be complex. But we want to try to simplify that for you and really walk you through some easy things to take care of and look at for the next year. So with that being said, I'll hand it over to Lauren to talk through the messy middle, if you will.
Yeah. So before we jump into those concrete digital marketing tactics, we just want to take a moment and discuss our customer's journey. So in 2020, Google really went back to the drawing board and realized that people were not shopping, making decisions the way that they used to. And there was really a big shift in the way that consumer behavior had changed. Their patterns had changed. Their shopping habits have changed. So what they did is they have determined that the most successful businesses, the most successful marketers are the ones who really understand what it takes to meet their client amongst every single step of that buying journey. From the moment that they realize, in this instance, like, okay, we've got too much stuff. We've got to find a place to store this. Or, my college kid just came back and we need to find a place for all of their things. From that moment to where should we go? What are we looking at? What kind of unit do we need? All the way down to the actual, decision to choose your business. So what Google has done is kind of straight line this message a little bit, going into what they do consider the messy middle. It's just kind of this infinity loop of exploration and evaluation, trying to determine and decide what the best, options really are. So I think that this is just such a great opportunity to ask both new customers, existing customers about how they found you, what sources that they use to actually help make the decision to choose your business, and then how they chose to connect. So to sum it up, every business really does need to be found online, whether it's on social, whether it's on mobile, whether it's on Google. And if they're not, they're missing out on potential customers. So you've got to know not only where they're looking, but what they're looking for, and provide value throughout this entire buying journey.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. So I think the first thing that we would suggest, and I wouldn't say necessarily easiest, because it depends on the website you have and how easily accessible it is to change up, but really it is something that we would recommend starting with. This is your 24/7 storefront, right? So as Lauren said, people are evaluating and exploring options all the time, and this is somewhere, especially if they know you by name, or if they're they're Googling storage units. This is something that they're going to take a pretty hard look at as consumers. So take a look at your website through the lens of your customer, and really your ideal customer. Does it motivate them to take action? Does it answer their need? Can they easily connect with you? Can they click to call, or can they click for directions if they're using their mobile device? And you also would want to take a look at your content on your site. This is a great time, towards the end of the year. We know it can get pretty busy, but it's a good time to refresh some of that content, making sure that it really depicts your brand the way that you want it to. And also refreshing that content can also have a pretty big impact on your Google rankings. So we want to make sure that, you're taking advantage of some keywords that you want to show up for. And then one last tip I think we'd share is to make sure that those images are up to date and aesthetically pleasing. But one of the big SEO tactics today is to make sure that those images are tagged appropriately. Google's not a human, if we can believe that. So they're looking at the images on the back end of your site to see if they match what those consumers are searching for. So it would be something to, again, take a look at, make sure that those are up to date along with all of that content.
I think those are all such valid points, especially when we're thinking about how people are getting over to that website. In the case of storage, we're not looking to go very far away to haul all of our stuff or have it easily accessible. So most people are looking in their local market. And when that happens, most of the time they are at least beginning a journey in that Google Maps or Google My Business section. So these are the things that come up that have all of this really robust information, often leading people either to get directions to your location, go visit your website, maybe make a call and inquire about a space. So the way that your business appears in this map section, this local pack, this Google My Business or GMB listing is just so critical. So the first piece is to make sure that it actually exists. These are free listings. You can go online to Google, do a little bit of research, and they have guides to help you get those set up. So the first piece is to have it. And then the second item is to optimize it. So just as you would want to have really valuable content, strong images, information like basic business information, like your hours, complete Q&As, you're going to want to flesh out that listing as much as possible, especially too knowing that users can also contribute to that listing in the form of reviews. And how important are reviews nowadays? Oh my gosh, a $5 toy or a $5,000, whatever it is. Reviews just matter so much. So knowing that listing not only exists, but it's being, managed really well is going to be a key piece to being found in that local market. So one tip I would say is Google does reward effort. So coming in and keeping this fresh, keeping it updated, even if it's just, every other week or once a month, adding something of value to that listing will definitely help. So with that being said, though, here's the kicker. You can't just do it on Google. You need to make sure that any place that your business is listed, that it has that same offering. It has the correct business information. People will get to your direct location without an issue, and start to ensure that no matter what type of action they take, they're getting directly to you.
And I'm going to expand a little bit on Google rewarding that effort, because it also carries over to social. When Google's looking at who to pull up on their first page, they're looking at a lot of different things, but one of which is how active you are across multiple platforms. Where can you show up across multiple platforms? And social is a big piece in today's world. So also what Lauren mentioned about reviews being so important, guess where we're going as consumers to ask for recommendations today? It's social media. It's very easy to do. I can post real quickly, looking for a place to store my stuff as I am moving. Anybody have any good recommendations? And within a matter of minutes, I'm going to get a ton of responses, right? So I'm going to ask you guys to look at, when is the last time that you posted on social? What does the engagement look like when you post? Are people reacting to it? Are they commenting? Are they liking or sharing? Because if the answer is anything other than, in the past week, if you've not posted in the past week, then it's time to get active. If you don't see many people liking or sharing what you're posting, then it's time to re-strategize what that content is about. And again, take a look at it through the lens of your customer. What do they want to see? What are they looking for? So there are some key elements here on social that you guys can look at and really determine what's your audience being interactive with. But again, the engagement is a big piece of that. So look at that, make sure that, I know, again, the end of the year can be kind of busy with holidays and whatnot, but it also is one of the easiest places to post. Again, it's a free platform when it comes to Facebook or Instagram. And it's a very visually, a very visual platform. So people want to see your units. They want to see how safe it is. They want to see what the front office looks like, how easily accessible it is. So post those things, be interactive, but it also is a great place for you to really humanize your brand on social. People want to make sure that they're doing business with people they like. And again, and where it's safe and they feel like their stuff is secure. So think about those things as you're thinking about what I should post, and what is going to grab the attention of those consumers.
Yeah, absolutely. And that leads so beautifully into our next point, which is all about content. I think for the most part, we hear the phrase content thrown around on social media. And yes, there is a lot of content that's being created, but content comes in a lot of different shapes and forms and sizes and media platforms. So what I would say is, like, just to share a little bit of a personal story, whether it's, a voice search that I'm doing or something on the go, keystrokes on my laptop, I'm usually looking for an answer to a question. The way that we search has changed. And if you even think about, probably check like the history on your phone, the last thing you asked was probably a question of some sort. How do I, where do I, what's the best? What should I think about? What should I consider? So the key to content is really to provide answers to those top questions that you're seeing in your industry, in your market, and in your business. So this is showing not only your expertise to consumers, which is obviously important, but it's also showing it to Google. And everything that we have been talking about so far, it really does include both of those benefits. It's meant to help consumers, it's meant to help Google, and Google rewards relationships that they have with businesses that are built on relevance, authority, and trust. So the more quality content that you produce, the more that you earn relevance, authority, trust, the more rankings that you earn, the more visibility you have, and the world just keeps spinning on round. So people really want to understand not only what you do, how you do it, but this is your opportunity to really show off those key differentiators. What makes your business so unique, so special? Why should people choose you? So content is indeed king. And luckily there are numerous types of platforms and media types that you can utilize. So if you're thinking about the way in which you want to answer these questions, that might change a little bit based on the content type. So if it's something that needs to be a little bit more lengthy, it's a longer explanation, or you have more bullet points on it, turn that into a longer piece of content. Post that on an on-site blog, off-site blog, create a little article about it. If it's something short and sweet, maybe a little spunky, shows off some personality, post that on social. If you're really big and brave, video would be a great thing. Even just a little, short live video of you walking through a storage unit, showing what you've got. People like to see that really authentic content, but it needs to always provide value. So think about answering those top questions, and then just be sure as you are creating this content that everything you produce is a true reflection of your brand. They want to see you.
Lauren, you're stealing my thunder about videos.
I wasn't trying to.
This is our last tip to share with you guys today, because, and said, we get that, this is maybe uncomfortable for people, but think about the human aspect of this, but also the ease, right? Our cell phones today have really great camera capabilities and quality. So pull that out and do a walkthrough of your facility. Maybe, again, if you're really brave, get in front of the camera yourself to create this video that connects with the audience in a different way than just an article will. And we're not trying to downplay the article. Obviously, we talked about how important that is, but the differences in the way you showcase content is really important, not only to your consumers, but to Google as well. And another little fun fact, if you're not aware, guess who owns YouTube if you post a video there? Google. It's another place for them to pull from for search rankings. So as long as you've got something posted there that, again, accurately depicts your brand, your messaging, it'd be a great way for you to get some more exposure. But something that really does, again, help connect and effectively communicate your message. As long as you've got someone that may be brave enough to do it, or maybe there's some testimonials from happy clients that you can ask to share that experience through video. 69% of us would actually prefer to learn about a new product or service by watching a short video. It doesn't have to be long. It could be a minute, minute and a half. And it doesn't have to be done again by a professional crew. Our phones today have some. With that being said, I think, there's a lot of information that we've shared. And I know, that can be overwhelming, and we want to try to keep it simple for you all.
Absolutely. So I think there's a couple questions that you need to ask yourself anytime, you're starting to maybe make your list and thinking, oh my gosh, this might indeed be a little too much. So I always like to ask myself, do I, number one, have the time to do this? Or can I delegate this to somebody who does have the time? So I really start to think about that, because it doesn't need to be an extenuous time that you have to spend on this. But it does have to be pretty booked into your schedule. For posting regularly to social media, updating these profiles, checking in. So the first question is time. The second thing, do you really want to do it? I have the time to mow my lawn. I have a lawn mower. I've got the physical ability. I've got the resources. I know how to mow a lawn, but I just don't want to. So I'm not going to. That's why I have that outsourced. Another piece really might be knowledge, because Google is so ever changing, because social media is so ever changing. There's just a massive learning curve, and it's never ending. So it might be a knowledge piece, and maybe you even feel good about parts of it, but maybe not all of it, and just need some support, or you're lacking resources. If you fall into any of those buckets, or maybe more than one of those buckets, it's definitely time to find somebody who can partner with you to help you achieve those goals, give you some of that time back, let you do what you want to do, and pass the buck off on things that you don't want to do, and utilize the knowledge that we have to help your business grow.
And just to give you more about Vivial's knowledge, we've got a very robust solution set, and we really approach this, in a customized way. So we know that each facility is different. They have different goals. The locations that you guys are in are all different. And so that will dictate what programs make sense. So, we make it as easy as possible. We try to hop on a call and just make sure that, we understand what those goals are, but we can really cover, all the bases, from building you a new website, if that's something that you're looking for, through directory optimization, some of the tactics that we talked about today, custom content, all the way through social media, as well as helping you show up accurately and easily on mobile. So if there's any of those things that you feel like you need some help with, we really are a good resource to reach out to. And I think good news is, to round this out, we do have an offer that we will extend to you all today for joining. So if any of that interests you, reach out. And then, like I said, we have a 10% off of any of our marketing services for you guys that would be interested today. And we appreciate everybody joining and letting us have the opportunity to talk today.